Alice Chait. The Five is a podcast about music where on each episode, my guest selects 5 pieces that are in whatever way influencing their musical practice. We listen to each one and discuss why and how they stand out. My guest for episode 5 is Meg Duffy, aka Hand Habits. The Albany, New York raised, current Los Angeles resident, released her debut album, Wildly Idle, Humble Before the Void, on Woodsist Records early last year. Since then, Meg has toured extensively, performing solo and with an ensemble as Hand Habits. She's also toured as guitarist for singer Kevin Morby's band since 2014. You're listening to The Five podcast. My name is Ross Chait. I'm your host, and today at my house, Meg Duffy is here of Hand Habits. Meg, thank you for coming.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
What's going on? You said you were at band practice all day today.
Yeah, I was rehearsing with a new lineup for Hand Habits.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's exciting. I haven't really had a full band Hand Habits in a while, and not ever in LA for more than like a day, I guess.
Yeah, cool.
Or like pickup shows. And I guess this is a pickup show too, but I secretly want them all to just be in my band forever.
Awesome. So yeah, you were doing a lot of solo Hand Habit shows here.
Yeah.
When did you move here?
I moved here almost 4 years ago.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. It's
Cool.
coming up on 4.
From
upstate New York.
Okay. Hudson?
No, near Albany.
Okay.
Yeah, the last place I lived was Albany.
Cool. What was the music scene there like?
It was weird. I mean, there was some cool things happening, but there wasn't a lot of opportunities to play out, and the cops were really down on house shows.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and Albany's super interesting, too, because there's a bunch of colleges there for a small town, and so I feel like the music would come and go in waves.
Right.
You know, like, depending on who's at college and who's running the radio station at the local, college radio. But when I left it, to be honest, I wasn't really feeling challenged or inspired, and everybody who I was playing music with was getting older.
Right.
They were older than me.
Right.
And they were getting older, and they're kind of, like, buying houses and stuff.
Yeah.
So that was tough.
Yeah.
But there's some really good bands there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Russell the Leaf. They moved to Philly.
Right.
But, like, that was an Albany band, and they were all in a band called Fine Folk with Michael, who has a band called Another Michael. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And that's, like, that whole scene was, like, super inspiring.
And is that, I mean, Hudson and Albany are pretty close.
They're, like, an hour-ish from each other.
So I imagine there's, like, an overlap.
There, like, wasn't, though.
Really?
Yeah. They're, like, I don't know, Albany had a big crossover with Troy, which is basically Albany.
Sure,
But a lot of the Bard bands, like, I just didn't hear about them, actually, until I didn't even know Bard was really a thing or a scene until Told Slant came to play in Albany, and actually the bill was Told Slant, Florist, and Hand Habits.
Yeah, Florist is amazing.
Actually, I don't even think it was Hand Habits, Told Slant, and Palm.
Oh yeah,
and
Palm is incredible too.
And Emily and I were like hanging out a lot then, and that's where Emily met Felix, like at that show.
Oh, okay.
But like I didn't even know that those bands were so close by.
Yeah.
And it blew my mind.
Right.
I was like, these bands are the best bands I've ever heard. You know?
Yeah. And now a lot of them are in Philly.
Yeah.
More than New York City,
I
feel
know,
like, even.
yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. It's a good scene out there. I was just out there staying with Kazra and Eve from Palm. And they have this amazing, cheap as fuck house.
It's so cheap.
And just like practice in the basement all day.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's really great. That's one thing I miss about Albany, to be honest, is just like having super cheap rent and being able to practice in your house.
Totally.
Whenever you want.
Yeah. So what brought you out here?
I play with Kevin Morby.
Right.
And I met him actually in Hudson.
Okay, cool.
At a show that this other band I was in was opening. It was really funny.
Cool.
This band called Better Pills.
Okay.
And yeah, I met Kevin, and it was a pretty like cosmic sort of introduction between the two of us.
So was that like right after he had left Woods?
Yeah, I think so. It was when his record Still Life just came out.
Right.
But I don't think actually it even came out.
Oh, okay.
He was just touring right before it. And we ended up playing together based on that one night, which was really cool. I basically was like, if you need a guitar player, let me know. And he was like, I do. But then I drove out here and started my first tour, like, the February after. That was, like, in maybe, I don't really know, October, and then, like, the summer went by.
Of 2014.
I guess it must have been, yeah.
Cool.
And then, I drove out here. I went on my first tour, and I remember driving back from that tour. It was a West Coast tour with Jessica Pratt and Kevin, and it was my first tour kind of ever.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So none of the Albany bands really left Albany
No.
Oh, okay.
I did one DIY tour with Hand Habits when we were, like, a really different band.
Yeah.
Like, we were, like, a rock band.
Yeah.
It was very different. Just young.
Sure.
Young.
Yeah.
But on my way back from that tour, we were driving back from Seattle, and I found a house. And when I got back to LA, I looked at it, and I was like, great, I'll take it. And, like,
oh, wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And so just, like, moved.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, his, I mean, I hear his music everywhere.
I know.
No, it's crazy.
It is pretty wild.
Like hotels, commercials.
I know.
So that must be a big time commitment. Mm-hmm. Do you go in the studio with him at all, or it's just?
We made one record.
Yeah.
Like me, Kevin, and his old drummer Justin, who was in the Babies.
Oh yeah, Justin.
Yeah.
I know him. Yeah.
He's great.
Yeah.
The three of us made his record City Music.
City Music. Yeah.
Cool. Up in Stetson Beach, but I am not on any other recordings. There's one single that I'm on, and then his record he's done tracking. It'll come out next year.
Cool.
I'm on 2 songs, I think.
Cool.
Yeah.
But lots of touring,
one song,
like, actually, throughout the year.
Oh, yeah. It's been, like, my main commitment.
Yeah.
This whole, like, the past 4 years.
Yeah.
I've done, I did, like, a Megabug tour.
Oh,
like,
you play guitar?
Those. I used to, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Not anymore.
Cool.
But I used to. And, I've done a couple Hand Habits tours.
Yeah. Erin just moved to LA, right?
She moved to New Mexico.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
huh.
yeah.
All right.
But yeah, like, this year is my last year playing with Kevin.
Really?
Like, full time,
oh,
yeah.
okay.
And I'm just gonna focus on Hand Habits.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, I just finished a record.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Where did you record it?
I started it in Wisconsin at the studio called April Base in Eau Claire. And then I finished it here at the studio called Soundspace. It's this guy, Chris Nelson's studio. He's very kind and really nice microphones.
Great.
And, yeah. It's in the Arts District.
Cool.
You, like, wouldn't expect it to be a studio sort of vibe.
Cool. So when is that? Do you have a completion deadline?
I'm going to mix it, hopefully, like, in the next couple of months.
Okay, cool.
And then I need to find a label.
Cool.
Again, to put it out. I'm doing that whole dance.
Yeah. That's a fun game.
I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited about it.
Yeah, but it sounds like you're playing great shows, and a lot of people are, finding your music here and elsewhere.
I hope so.
Yeah, it's cool. So let's listen to the first song.
Sweet.
I wanna have a good time now.
Good Time by Lily Konigsberg was the name of the song. And as I was just saying to you, that is a song that I absolutely love and have been listening to constantly.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's so good.
It's one of those songs I could listen to so many times in a row.
Mm-hmm. And the length of it is great.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's almost like it just keeps playing in your head endlessly.
Right.
And, like, if she were to have made it... I don't know, it's funny because there's that whole horn arrangement thing at the beginning that almost... Like, I feel like in a lot of music, especially, like, from the 70s and stuff, like, late 70s, that is sort of a technique that people use to introduce, like, oh, this is gonna get, like, huge and orchestral later on. Right. But this song just ends.
I know.
It's awesome.
But I love that. I love when a chorus, too, is so strong.
Yeah.
And it only then doesn't happen that many times.
Yeah.
I feel like I love a chorus. I love a melody so much.
Sure.
Like, that's my...
Yeah.
Like, I could live inside of a melody, you know, and just sing it over and over again.
Yeah.
But, like, knowing when to not do it.
Right.
It's just, to me, is such a, like, a form of, like, respect for music in some way.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and just not doing something just because it should happen or because it wants to happen or your brain wants to happen. And then it just keeps playing in our heads.
Yeah, but I feel like that's, even if you know that, it can really be a struggle to just, like, let something be perfect and simple, you know?
I know. It's hard.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I like, write a lot of verses when I write songs.
Yeah.
And I've just recently started to be able to, like, only write 2. Mm-hmm. You know? like 2's okay, you know? But I'm like, I have so much to say. But then sometimes I'm like, I don't actually have so much to say. I just want to say it again.
Sure.
You know?
Sure. Yeah.
But,
so you find that sometimes you get, like, too wrapped up in having the narrative of the thing be complete and the song
but also
just
if the melody is good, if it feels good to sing or like feels good to play on the guitar, then I just want to keep doing it. Right. You know, I get obsessed.
Is that how you start? Just like a melody idea that you love and then building around it?
Absolutely. Yeah. And most of the time it starts just on the guitar.
Cool.
Or like you know, like scatting, like but like whatever words like come to the surface.
Yeah.
But I'll sing it. My poor roommates, like in the past, of like just hearing it like the same melody over and over again. And I'll write with like a loop pedal too sometimes.
Oh, cool.
And just like let it play.
Yeah. So Lily has a project called Lily and Horn Horse, which is amazing, and the Horn Horse, I don't know his real name.
I don't know his name either.
But I assume he's doing those horns at the beginning of the song.
I don't know who did those horns on that whole record.
Oh, so it's all throughout it.
Mm-hmm,
yeah. And the split is with Andrea. What's his last name? Schiavelli.
I think that's the pronunciation.
Yeah. Who's
also so great. Yeah.
Yeah. So cool. And then Palberta is her other band, which if you liked the song Good Time, that doesn't necessarily mean you'll like Palberta.
That's true. And Horn Horse, I think, too.
True.
You know? Because all three are very different in such a great way.
Totally. But a lot more, like, frenetic.
Yeah.
A lot of the Horn Horse stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I love all of it.
Me too, yeah.
But yeah, the hook is just insane in that song.
Yeah. I love how the horn also just plays the melody, too. And then also plays off of it. Mm-hmm. Just the single horn. It just makes it feel like longing or something.
Yeah. So they, I imagine you are pretty friendly with that whole Palberta crew. Or...
I actually, I thought I was. But when I went to go see them, I don't know, I was... Before you and I were talking, and I had a strange night while seeing them. Not because of them, but when I was feeling a little shy and like anxious to be in public.
It's fair.
And as we all do. And,
a busy room will make one feel that way.
And like I also honestly, to nerd out, like I got a little starstruck. Like, and I didn't say hey. Yeah. But we made eye contact. Yeah. But like I was like, oh man, like fuck, I'm not saying hi. Like, I should just go say hi. But then, like, I also started getting in on this tip where, like, I recently got my hair cut, and I was like, maybe people don't recognize me because, like, I got my... But it's, like, as you can see right now, it's, like, not that different.
Yeah, no.
But I was like, maybe they just don't recognize me because I got my hair cut. It was a weird night. But no, I met them a couple times, but I'm not extremely friendly with them.
I had kind of a similar experience. Like, Girlpool was playing a show in Philly with Palberta, and it was kind of right when I started getting obsessed with this Lily song.
Yeah.
And there's some, like, issue with the drum equipment, and they were like, oh, ask Lily. Like, she was playing drums, and then I sort of embarrassingly had to figure out this logistical thing with this person, and, like, the song was just running in my head while I was, like, trying to deal with it.
Don't sing it.
Don't.
You just start singing her song to her. Like, looking in her eyes.
Staring.
That's something I'm afraid that I will do one day.
Yeah. I feel like it happens subconsciously pretty often.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
And it's just... You have to catch it before... Yeah.
I mean, or just do it, or just go full on. Someone did it to me the other day, and I was like, sick, yeah.
Did you call it out, or did they?
They were like, your song stuck in my head, and then they just started singing it at me, and I was like, thanks.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing. I just imagine a situation where, like, you know, you're talking to someone, and you're humming their song, then they notice it.
Right, and they're like...
That's something...
That's
kind
of a nightmare.
I would not want to get myself into.
Me neither.
Let's check out the next song.
Okay, great.
We
That was Lomelda, Bam, Sha Klam. Hannah Reed from Silsbee, Texas is the artist.
Yeah.
And you were just with her hours ago.
Yeah, like an hour ago. She's playing in my band.
That's awesome.
We have a show tomorrow, and yeah, she just moved here too.
Yeah.
I was like I met her at South by last year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Not this year, last year.
Yeah.
And it was funny because I think Andrew Stevens, who plays with her sometimes, was like, you should listen to this band, and, you know, sometimes people are like, you should listen to this, and you're like, okay, and then you just don't.
Yeah.
And then I remember meeting her so briefly, you know, just like, hey, like, I was watching La 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 La, actually.
Oh, yeah.
And I was, like running around South by style, just like, okay, I gotta go see these other friends.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, and, like, Hannah was like, hey, and I was like, what's up, you know, and then, like, left. And then, like, the day after South by, we played a show in Waco, and she was playing.
Okay.
She was like, we're gonna host you, like.
Oh, cool.
And she played.
Is her town near Waco?
Silsbee? I'm not really sure.
Okay.
I think it's like 3 hours from Austin.
What was playing in Waco like?
It was pretty cool. It was weird.
Yeah.
Like someone she used to collaborate with lived there, and we played at his house.
Cool.
But I, like, didn't know what was, like, about to hit me, like, musically.
Yeah.
It was a house show, and, she played first. And Andrew Stevens was playing bass, and this guy, I can't remember his name, but the drummer whose house it was. And it was just one of those situations where I was just like,
holy shit.
Like, sobbing.
Yeah, wow.
Like, laying on the ground, like, my life has changed.
Yeah.
And it was, and it has been. Like,
totally.
Like, my life has changed.
Yeah.
And we hung out, like, all night that night, and just remember feeling, like, a really special, similar to, like, how, but not the same, obviously, but similar to the way I felt, like, when I met Kevin, where I was like, this person's gonna be in my life, and, like, it's gonna be really important to me.
Sometimes you know.
You definitely do, like, and sometimes it, like, hits you like a baseball bat, you know, and you're like, I get really, like, worked up when that happens, too. It actually, the only, like, it's happened with Emily too, Sprague. Like, when we met, I was like, whoa, like, this person's gonna be in my life forever. Okay. But yeah, and then Hannah, like, we just, like, started talking and became, like, really close, like, pretty like, rapidly. Yeah. And now she lives in LA, and we always would, like, talk about, like, last year, always be like, we should play music together, and, like, now we finally are. Yeah. And it just feels so good.
Yeah, totally.
She's such a shredder, and, like, her voice is a shredder. And
and I think, like, serendipitous sort of connection and friendship without playing music it's like that's like practicing
too.
My
god, it is it's spiritual practice. Which, like, sounds whatever esoteric, but it's true.
It is true. And also spiritual practice and just, like, practicing communicating, which
100%.
That's real no matter what you believe in.
Definitely. Yeah. And it makes playing music so much easier because a lot of times, like, I mean, I get nervous playing my own songs with other people just because I don't want to sound like a jerk. Being like, can you play it this way, actually?
Same, yeah.
But with Hannah, like, and other people who I play with, but with Hannah especially, like, it's very rarely that I have to tell her to play something differently. Yeah. You know, like, it just... She plays it like I play it. Yeah. Or she plays it like she plays it, and it just works so well, which is nice.
Such a rare thing to have with someone, too, I think.
It's just makes everything so much easier, too. To just not just be like, could you... Okay, great, but could you play it a little bit, like, less this or more that?
And no matter what your friendship is like, you can have the most sort of, like, you know... We can poke fun at each other to no end sort of friendship, but when it comes to playing music, I truly believe everything has to be like, could you maybe, like, a little, just try? Yeah. Because everyone
has an ego.
And everybody has, like, a stake in it, whether they want you to think that or not.
Totally, yeah. You know? And, like, the sensitivity, I don't know. I've been in some musical situations where someone has been like, no, that's wrong, and you're playing it wrong. Yeah. And even though in the moment it was really hard, and I was like, fuck you, in my head, I'm like, fuck you, like, I'm leaving. But I didn't. I was like, okay, yeah, I know it's wrong.
Right.
Great, I know. I didn't practice that part.
Right.
Like, you know, and I know.
Yeah.
But looking back on those moments now, I'm like, oh, that just saved everybody a lot of time, too.
Yeah.
And there's
true.
like, there is a level of,
you
if you can be honest and be like, that's not the right part.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
In certain situations. In a band, when you're in a band, like, repeatedly,
Mm-hmm.
that's different.
Yeah.
But this was like a one-off show, you know. And
Yeah.
I didn't learn the guitar solo.
Yeah,
I was like,
right.
I can just shred over this part, like Meg style.
That's true.
But then they were like, no, what are you doing? That's wrong. And I was like, you're right.
Yeah. But I think such a huge part of it is like, because no matter how good of a musician you are, everybody's really good at some stuff and less good at other things.
Oh, totally.
So I think being the leader of the project, huge part of the learning process of that is just learning how to emphasize people's strengths.
Totally.
And steer clear of their weaknesses.
Yeah, or like help them grow with their weaknesses too.
Totally.
Because I just recently started to be able to figure out how to harmonize like in a way that wasn't like excruciatingly bad to the air. Like, you know, but like.
You mean when you perform?
When I perform, but also just singing with other people too.
Right.
I just never really did that growing up, or you know, even when in the first like 2 years or 3 years I was writing songs.
Right.
It just wasn't something that I ever did, and I wouldn't have been able to do it. Like I wouldn't have gotten better at doing it if there weren't people who were just like listen to me be really out of tune for a while.
Sure.
And they were like, no, try it like this.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah. It's hard.
Yeah.
Do you sing in Morby's band?
Yeah, more and more I have.
Yeah.
In the beginning, like, no, and sometimes, but it wasn't that great.
Yeah. So now you get
to
practice it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just been I've, like, grown up.
Sure.
In the last, like, 3 years, too.
Yeah.
Even, like, in my body.
Yeah. Definitely. Okay, so something that I noticed, just production thing. I mean, it's all really good, and just the whole like the way that it is just a build the entire time is so cool. Totally. And I think you need like so many people try that, and so few like pull it off.
It's hard.
Yeah. But that drum thing, like how I just love when cymbals are really close mic'd and it almost sounds like they're playing it with their fingers, and it just sounds huge and there's no like attack at all. Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah. Hannah recorded all of that with her brother.
Right.
And like they have a studio out in Silsby. That they recorded like all of Hannah's stuff on.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong. But...
Yeah. I was just in Austin and I met the guy from Howdy.
Oh, Will.
Yeah,
I
Will.
Love him.
Yeah, who Lomelda Hannah was in Howdy.
Yeah.
When she lived in Austin.
Definitely.
Yeah. Great guy.
Yeah, I love him. He's so sweet.
Yeah, we went to Barton Springs
together. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Did Layla come, the dog?
Layla did not come, sadly.
Did you meet her?
I didn't.
Oh, she's really sweet. She was afraid of me. I stayed with him last time I was in Austin.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we stayed with Tyler.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the best.
Also the best,
yeah. So cool.
Good thing they got down there in Austin.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It was kind of the first time I'd been, or the second time, but the first time I'd spent more than 24 hours there when it's not some crazy festival situation. Yeah,
totally.
And it's way better.
It's so great. It's just chill and like nice weather.
Yeah. Have you lived anywhere else besides upstate in LA?
No, yeah. I like spent a month in New York City and I really hated it.
Really?
So bad, yeah.
Really?
I mean, I love New York City. I love visiting, but I could never live there. It's too loud for me.
It's really loud.
Like there's noise everywhere.
Yeah.
Like even in your house. Yeah. You know? Unless you're like really high up or something.
And it's exhausting just to do anything, like to get anywhere.
I know. I'm like fragile. Like I can't. Like you know, the elements are like extreme there.
Yeah.
Like the metro elements.
It's intense. She wrote the song apparently while she was like living in her car.
I didn't know that.
And it was named after a baseball game that her and her brother would play together. But it's really, the lyrics just are really, I don't know, really hit home for me. Like, a romantic situation that is sort of awful, but you can't get out away from it, you know?
I love it. Yeah, it's so relatable.
Yeah. It's intense. But yeah, great song.
Yeah.
Great project.
Yeah, special songwriter.
Very much so. Joachim. It looks like
Joachim, yeah.
Joachim Badenhorst.
Yeah.
Star Clinic 1 is the name of the piece. And the composer player was born in Antwerp in 1981. And apparently is a big folk music person. Like,
cool.
Japanese folk music, Turkish folk music.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Chinese music. Traveled to China to play traditional Chinese music.
Wow.
Collaborated with Turkish and Japanese people. But this I really loved because it is, I guess, probably like a 12-tone piece, technically, right. Because there's a lot of discord and dissonant melodies, but it's also just full of really good tunes. Yeah, there's so many hooks. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, and short. And yeah. How did you find it? You know, I don't really remember, but I think I have a suspicion that I found it because on the same Bandcamp page for the label, there's a split that Luke Kashak from the Lentils. Oh yeah, sure. Did with C. Schneider Tropical. Oh really? Yeah. Wow. Different vibe. I know, yeah, but it was like on the label page. Like if you go to it and like there's all these other artists, and they're all small run, and it seems like a pretty small like Belgian label. Yeah. Based out of Brussels. Saint Louis. Yeah. Yeah. But I saw Luke last night, and I was like, have you heard this? You know, this bass clarinet / clarinet record that's seems to be on the same label as you that you did. And he was like, no, I've never seen that.
So, but it must have been through there.
Yeah.
I don't. If it wasn't, then it would be weird. Then I have no idea.
Luke is one of those people who just seems to kind of work in any artistic context.
Yeah. He just did horns on my record.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard he's an amazing horn player. I've never
really
seen him play.
He did 2 euphoniums.
Oh, wow.
On a song. Yeah, amazing. It's really beautiful.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you I'm always curious if people do you listen when you're recording an album intentionally, like I want to make something that sounds like this, so I want to write horn parts. Yeah, or
other
just
songs?
Other songs, but also like I want horns, so I'm gonna find this album that has a lot of horns and see how they work and stuff like that. I didn't
really do that. I mean, there's albums that I know like in my own memory, but there's like a lot of horn, like the Neil Young record with like the French horn.
Oh yeah, sure.
Which is really beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. That record. Yeah. You know it. Yeah.
Hit me.
People will know it.
Yeah.
And like just hearing like Sasami play the French horn is really beautiful too, and that she played horns on like a song of mine like in the past too, and it's just nice to have it not be like rock band arrangement all the time. And, but I don't listen to enough like horn arrangement music as I should. I would like to.
Do you I mean, you write all the parts, or do you have people come in and...
I have people come in. Like sometimes, like when Sasami played on the song that she did, I had like the idea...
After the Gold Rush.
Yeah, oh my god. How could... Yeah. I hate when that happens. But like that part I had written, but then she harmonized it.
Okay, cool.
And then with Luke, I was just like, do it, just do what Luke would do. And I had that dude Logan Hone. Do you know him?
Oh yeah, I love that guy.
He played saxophone too.
Cool.
And same, I was like, just like rip a solo.
Yeah, sick.
It's nice.
Cool. Yeah, so this guy runs a label called Klein, which I feel like I've encountered stuff on it before, and it's really a lot of really beautiful music, and just one of those labels where it's like they put as much attention into the packaging as they do the music.
I love that. I haven't checked out his label.
It's, I mean, beautiful looking stuff, but also, just really cool, new composer type of stuff.
Right.
But the good kind where it's not, you have to read 4 pages of explanation to press play.
Yeah, you're like, I don't understand this unless I read the instructions. Yeah,
just kind of weird but good, and you can talk about why you like it.
Totally,
easily.
Yeah,
it's good stuff. Shirley, you're summer sun, and I need you more than the ground I walk upon. If I knew you were the one, I could sit and count the rainbows when the wind blows through your hair. If I knew you were the one, I could sit before the ocean, and no man would be sad. Marianne,
watch the dancing flowers by the hours just for you. If I knew you were the one, you would feed me berry pie. Oh my, ease me down. Caroline, take my hand and ease my dreams. Caroline, you're autumn rain, and I need you more than the ground I walk upon. If I knew you were the one, I could sit across your table and be able to fill my dreams. If I knew you were the one, we would wine and laugh and dance, make romance in the night. If I knew you were the one, 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 if I knew you
That was Richard Twice with If I Knew You Were the One. Another really beautiful horn intro.
I know, yeah, yeah. And at the end too, like there's those echoes.
Yeah. Yeah, that echoey like flute thing sort of comes and goes throughout it.
It's funny because in my head and when I think about the song, I don't really think about the horns.
Yeah.
But it is pretty heavily arranged.
It's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like so many of like albums from the late 60s and early 70s, it's like they were sort of using horns or like even an entire orchestra sometimes the way people use just like drum fills now.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, to move stuff.
Or like I think about like those Patsy Cline records where there's like
yeah.
like,
yeah, exactly.
You know, and that could be a drum fill.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah, and like the Burt Bacharach stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
So I don't think the Richard Twice album had the same budget as those things, so
definitely
just
not.
a flute did it.
Yeah,
kinda.
flute and like a trombone or whatever that is.
So this song's from his self-titled Richard Twice album, 69. And he wrote it when he was 18.
Which is crazy.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's insane. But as we were just talking about, I discovered that because Richard Twice himself is a very active YouTube comment user on his own videos.
I sort of get the vibe that maybe, you know, he feels a little like left out or like that the song or this record didn't do that well. It's very like underground.
Yes.
which is maybe why he's on the comments, like, letting people know what's going on, which is great.
Yeah.
I thought I read, and maybe I'm wrong, but that this band was two Richards. There was another Richard.
Oh,
involved,
really?
and that's why it was called Richard twice.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah. But I think maybe they might have had a falling out.
Huh.
Or, like, because if you look, I tried looking them up, you know.
Well, the guy, let me look. The guy, the Richard
Atkins.
is Richard Atkins, who's on the YouTube stuff. But I found this little blurb about a documentary that was made about him.
Wow, really?
Atkins, I think.
Wow.
And it's kind of this amazing, just almost got to the top and then crashed kind of thing.
That's sad.
And, like, he had a contract with Mercury Records, and they were telling him, like, he was going to be the next David Crosby.
Wow.
And he recorded with the Wrecking Crew.
Wow.
Which is insane.
That's really wild.
And maybe this song, I don't know, this song could have been them.
Yeah. I wouldn't surprise me, really.
I know, I mean, the playing is amazing.
Yeah.
But then, I guess the story goes he was playing a show that was, you know, one of those shows where all the business people are going to be there. And he just had crazy stage fright, and it was like a total disaster.
And he blew it.
And then that was it.
That's so sad.
I know.
It's so scary, and, like, something I've, like, thought, you know, I'm like, what if I blow this show and, like, someone's here and then my career's over, which obviously it isn't the same structure anymore.
I don't think that can really happen to the same extent anymore.
Not anymore. But, damn, poor Richard.
I know. And, okay, so they said in this thing also that he was so broken up about this that he couldn't even listen to the radio for 50 years.
Really? No way. How old is he?
I don't know.
Like 85?
Well, if he was 18 and 69,
ask me what maths.
80 something for sure.
Damn.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
I know.
He probably lives in LA.
Probably. I feel like everybody who's had that career trajectory just, like,
lives in LA.
Has a condo in Mar Vista or
something. Yeah. Well, he blew it, so he probably didn't get anything out of it.
Well, he didn't get the Malibu mansion. He got the Mar Vista condo.
See, maybe that's a reference. I don't know. I'm like, totally.
But yeah, it's a really good song. It's just, like, one of those prog and psych, but also just a beautiful, like, folky thing all at the same time.
The drums are really...
Yeah, totally.
They're, like, really compressed and blown out.
Yeah. It kind of, I mean, it reminds me of, like, Soft Machine sort of stuff, which we'll get to more later. But yeah, it's a really great song. Do you remember how you found this one?
Yeah, when I first moved to LA, I lived in this really cool house, not too far from here, and there was always, like, subletters and stuff, kind of in and out, and there was this girl, Leah, who, hopefully she doesn't listen to this, but we didn't really get along when she first moved in, and she was our personalities didn't match, but then, like, for some reason on Thanksgiving, her and I ended up going to the grocery store together, and it was, like, kind of tender, you know, and she was like, well, I have to go to Whole Foods, like, do you want to come? And I was like, yeah, sure. I was like, whatever. And then she had this mix on in her car. She had a really cool car, too. It was, like, a little Rabbit, like a Volkswagen Rabbit, and she was bumping these mixes that she made.
Cool.
And she was just like, yeah, this is just, like, an obscure folk song, like, you know, from the 60s.
Yeah.
And she was like, she sent me a lot of really good music, actually.
That's it.
And then ended up, like, you know, when I see her, I'm like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
We bonded.
Yeah, totally. It's cool. I mean, I definitely have relationships that are both mended and just started, like, literally based on one song.
Totally.
Or, like, one
Me too.
art, you know?
Yeah.
Like, someone who I kind of didn't know, and we both realized we're, like, obsessed with this one Bobby Womack song, and like, now I would call him, like, a good friend.
That's great. I love
but
that.
It hasn't gone much further than just, like, that song's so good.
Yeah.
Like, how about the album cover?
Right.
Also so good.
Yeah. magic.
Yeah, truly. All right, let's check out Final.
It's that look in your eyes, telling me lies. So many promises broken. What can I do? What should I do? Try to love you just as you are. 'Cause I'm never going to change a thing about you. Never ever going to change a thing to love you just as you are. Should I live? Should I stay? Should I call it a day? There's so much to say that's unspoken. In your way you've been true. All I can do, try to love you just as you are. 'Cause I'm never going to change a thing. No, I'll never ever change a thing. I'll try to love you just as you are.
It's that look in your eyes. I know you despise me for not being stronger. But what can I do? What should I do? I've always loved you just as you are. And I've never tried to change a thing. Never tried to change a thing about you. Just as you are. Will you leave? Will you stay? There may come a day when I'm weak and I'm stupid no longer. In my way, I've been true. I've lived just for you and always loved you just as you are. I've never tried to change a thing. Never tried to change a thing about you. Just as you are.
That was Robert Wyatt's Just As You Are from Konigsberg album 2007. One of truly one of my favorite songs of all time.
So good.
Yeah.
That ride cymbal.
Yeah, the ride cymbal.
It just feels so comforting to me.
It does. And it's such an honest vocal performance, both of them.
Definitely.
Such an honest song. I mean, that's the thing I love about all of his lyrics throughout, like the Soft Machine stuff and his own music, they're just kind of brutally honest.
Yeah.
Always.
I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's always the sort of lyrical content that I'm attracted to the most.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, I also love when people can write in character, like to various degrees,
Totally,
you
yeah.
know? But, I don't know, he's just one of those people who's, everything's been so upfront the whole time.
Yeah.
And somebody, do you know Swell Maps, the band? I was on tour with one of the people from that band. He's like an old British guy who knows Robert Wyatt, and said his wife wrote a lot of his lyrics.
Wow.
Like,
that's beautiful.
Yeah. Which kind of also makes it more interesting. All the sort of like self-deprecate, like, I know I'm not the best,
right.
Like, I have a drinking problem,
right.
all that stuff.
Yeah. Like, who's it about?
Yeah.
Him or her?
Yeah. I have a feeling it's probably about him, and she's cool with writing it.
Yeah. It's a lot of trust.
Yeah. But yeah, it's such a beautiful song, and Monica Vasconcelos is the singer, Brazilian. I'm not familiar with her.
I'm not either. I was trying to read about her before today, but I didn't get a chance to.
Yeah, but I mean, beautiful singer.
Yeah.
And then Paul Weller from The Jam.
Yeah.
Which is a band I love.
I've never listened to that.
Oh, they're great.
His guitar playing's really good. I love the guitar solo. In
this.
You know what it reminds me of is, and like, picking these 5 songs was really hard.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, once you get into it, you're like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
But it reminds me of that Mount Erie record that I really love, the Lost Wisdom record.
Definitely.
And that guy Fred, I don't remember his last name, but he plays
the guitar player.
Yeah.
Wait, it's not Fred Frith, is it?
No.
Okay.
It starts with I think it starts with an A.
Okay.
His last name, but I could be wrong, but the guitar playing is sort of similar, where it's kind of like wandery and sparse and really sustained.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I love that when it's not in like a guitar band context.
Oh yeah, me
you know?
too. Yeah. That's
like,
great.
When it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, it becomes a different instrument almost.
Totally.
Yeah. Like with sustain and stuff.
Yeah.
Sort of like how like Yola Tango too. Like they do a lot of feedbacky sort of pads.
Yeah.
And the guitars start to sound like a nice synth or something, or like a vocal pad.
But I also weirdly circles back to After the Gold Rush, kind of.
Yeah.
Because a lot of those guitar parts, even outside of the solos, are just kind of like this character that's almost like getting in the way of the voice.
Yeah.
In a way that's really, like, not functional, like, quote unquote pop music wise, but is really cool and, you know, much more memorable than just like.
Absolutely. Well, because it becomes a part.
Yeah.
The guitar becomes a part rather than just somebody, like the chords or the vehicle for the song.
Yeah.
Which is something that I want to learn how to do more.
Totally,
That's like a challenge.
Well, yeah. I was going to say, like, that is something remarkable about your music. I think, like, there are, like, interesting vocal and guitar melody lines sort of on top of each other, but never in, like, a distracting, I wish one of these wasn't there type of way.
That's good to know, yeah. A lot of the times, too, when I get in recording mode, like, you know, I'll always track, like, a vocal first before doing, like, the guitar melodies or anything.
Yeah.
But then, like, well, 2 things, like, one, I always, like, I'm noodling so hard over the whole song, too, because I'm a guitar player before I'm a songwriter.
Well, yeah, and that's
and it's fun.
Become the sound of the project,
totally.
And it's great.
Yeah. But then, like, now playing the song, like, you know, I only have 1 record, and playing those songs live, the parts that I'm playing are more so based on, like, the noodly guitar line rather than just the chords in a lot of places.
Right.
And having Hannah play with me is cool, too, because then she can do even more, which is just great.
So when you play, are you, when you perform, you're, like, playing those lines and singing at the same time?
Not a lot of the times,
Okay.
no. It depends. I mean, like, I sort of meet it in the middle, but then also when I was playing solo and even playing with just a drummer with John, I would loop a lot and do, like, chords
cool.
and then play over that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. One of the things I love about this song, and kind of in the same vein as the Lily song, the first song, it's like these people who I became familiar with in the context of these very strange, noisy, experimental sound projects sort of things that they're involved in. And then you kind of find, I mean, both like Palberta and Soft Machine are amazing, two of my favorite bands. But then you find a song like this that's just sort of like a sweet, hooky, ballady, like poppy thing, and you're like,
right, I know. Well, you earn it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You, like, earn it by being the fan.
Exactly.
Like, of the, like, skronky, wild, long-winded stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
I'm gonna, like, I think about that a lot, too.
Yeah.
And just we were talking about, I'm gonna play an instrumental set, and, like,
right.
I think if people come expecting me to play, like, a sweet song, like, it's gonna be a surprise.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna sit down, I think, too.
Cool.
And just do, like, some of this.
Yeah.
Like, skronky.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that can be so memorable, even if people who are just, like, a fan of your Hand Habits album come and don't know what they expect. They'll just be like, holy shit, remember that time we saw the weird, like, psych jam?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool to navigate both.
And find that little nugget, yeah. I think I went to that Palberta show sort of in, like, some reality wishing that it would just sound like that song over and over again. Obviously, I know they're totally different projects and, like, different intentions.
Yeah.
But there was a part of me that was like, maybe, you know?
Maybe we'll do that one.
Right. It's like, I saw Gillian Welch not that long ago.
Yeah.
No, it was actually, pardon me, a David Rawlings and the Machine
show. Okay.
But I truly went hoping to see Gillian play Oh Me, Miss Ohio, that song.
Yeah.
And they did. They played
really?
it. And I was like,
no way.
This must feel strange for David.
Yeah.
But it would be like the equivalent of, like, Palberta playing that song.
Yeah.
Like, isn't a Palberta song?
Yeah, totally.
You know?
I mean, I've gone to see Genesis Peorage play a number of times, and I'm always kind of like, I hope they play God stuff.
Right. I know, yeah.
Never
Did they ever?
It's never happened when I've been there.
Right.
But I saw a Psychic TV set once where they played, you know, a lot of those, like, great jangle poppy sort of songs.
Right.
But yeah, this is just one of my favorite songs. It's beautiful.
So beautiful.
And I love how the structure is pretty much just, like, the same big thing twice.
I love that.
But it works perfectly.
I mean, that's, like, my favorite kind of music.
Yeah.
Even listening to the Richard Twice song, there's a part of me that, like, forgets the end.
Yeah.
Because the beginning is just such a great hook. I'm so into hooks.
Same.
Like, yeah. Just indulge.
Yeah.
Like, really hard in them.
Yeah. Do you listen to, just, like, pop music on the radio much?
When I'm driving sometimes, yeah, definitely. And it gets in my head, and even more and more, like, as time goes on, I start to appreciate them more.
Same.
I'm like, this is a great hook.
I know, and I don't know.
Like, that one song, I was driving here, it was like, how long has this been going on? I don't even know who sings it.
Yeah.
And it's like, the hook's like, da-da-da, da-da, da-da,
Okay,
da-da, da-da. And I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think, I don't know, if you're writing music and making albums, no matter what sort of stylistic thing you're doing, I think just the skill to be able to, like, recognize a hook when you have one, or when you hear one even, is, like, such an important thing that so many people don't really have.
Yeah. It's, And it's also, I'm interested in, like, the science behind it more and more, too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people,
Yeah.
like, in writing houses who are, like, there's, like, 20 writers on a Rihanna song or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, what does that even mean?
Right.
You know, like...
But they're actually all, like,
yeah.
doing something.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful, too. It's, like, a massive collaboration.
Yeah.
That one person takes credit for.
Yeah. It is.
Which is strange.
It is strange. But, I don't know. I think, like, the people who are doing it are probably thrilled to be, like, working with Rihanna.
Totally.
So
in some
okay.
capacity. Just, like, the distribution of creative labor, too.
Totally.
Something that Luke and I were talking about when I asked him to do the horns.
Mm-hmm.
And just, because I did have ideas, of course, of what the horn parts could be.
Yeah.
But it just felt more, like, exciting.
Mm-hmm.
And I think...
to have him just do it.
Yeah. And then give, small guidelines to, in
Mm-hmm.
any sort of situation like that. But it's always, like... I wouldn't ask somebody to do something if I didn't like what their brain would do.
Right.
In some capacity. So for me to be like, here's the sheet music.
Totally.
Play this.
Yeah.
And I would just, like, play MIDI or something.
For sure.
You know?
Yeah. I guess that gets back to the, like, emphasizing strengths and...
Yeah, totally.
You know. My friend Dent was on the podcast last time, and he
Dent
was...
May.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know if we've met, but that's cool.
It's great songwriter.
Yeah.
But he was talking about, he reached out to Van Dyke Parks about
cool.
doing, like, string arrangements for his last album, and he said, like, yeah, I have some ideas, and Van Dyke was just like, I don't collaborate at all.
Really?
Yeah, like, I listen to the songs, I write the parts, the players play them, that's it. Like,
wow. Interesting.
We don't even need to ever have a conversation.
Holy
like,
shit. Did he do it?
No.
Wow. I mean, that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
But
I imagine...
at that point, you sort of think that it's he just does things to get his name on things or something.
Van Dyke?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I also sort of think maybe it has to do with, like, I don't know. I mean, he's been working on albums for 50 plus years.
Probably just knows what he's doing.
Knows what he's doing and probably just wants to do what he wants to do. And
that's fair.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a little, like, grumpy old man vibe, but I guess some people are just grumpy and old.
Yeah. Also, his process, he probably just knows his process, too. He's like, I know how to do this.
Yeah.
You know?
True.
You're gonna like it.
Yeah.
I'm Van Dyke Parks.
Yeah. I've always been curious about just the recording of these Robert Wyatt albums and the Soft Machine stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, did they have... How many people were there? Who was writing the parts?
To know.
Because they sound like these big budget records, like, you know, Warner Brothers 70s albums, but obviously, like, no one was playing Soft Machine, like, on the radio or anything.
Definitely not.
But yeah, great stuff.
Yeah.
So, you're doing this show tomorrow night at the Bootleg, and then you have the instrumental Meg Duffy ensemble.
Yeah.
And you just finished recording your album.
Yeah.
Mixing it?
Not mixing yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm just tracking. I finished tracking.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, what else is going on?
I'm playing San Diego.
Cool.
The day after the instrumental set.
Sweet.
With Rodrigo on Morante.
Okay.
And then on the 6th, I'm playing again an improv set.
Cool.
With a similar group of people.
Awesome.
With Greg and Jesse.
Where's that?
At this bookstore in Pasadena that I don't remember what it's called.
Okay.
And then I'm playing at the Moroccan Lounge.
Sweet. With Chris.
The next day.
Yeah.
With Chris.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then I go on tour.
Awesome.
With Chris and Shannon.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
With the band? Or...
It's just me.
Cool.
And Shannon and I are going to play on each other's sets, I think.
Shannon Lay.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's amazing.
She's so great, yeah. I just remembered we forgot to have practice last week.
Whoops.
Yeah. Oops.
Cool. Well, awesome, Meg. Thanks a lot for coming by.
Thanks so much. This is so fun.
Awesome. Thanks for listening to episode 5 of The 5 with Meg Duffy, aka Hand Habits. I'm your host, Ross Wallace Chait. You can follow me on Instagram at this_is_rot or on SoundCloud at soundcloud.com/totalheat. Peace and love.